Hello again. My name is Dennis Karstens, and I'm going to give you my unsolicited opinion about some things, again, that I think are very important. This morning, when I'm doing this, is the day after the Democratic Convention has completed. Thank God. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Now, I must admit that I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I did see a lot of highlight stuff on the news to at least come up with this opinion. It seems to me, now I may be wrong, if you watched it all, fine. I don't know. You should probably get yourself into counseling. But if you sat and actually watched this parade of nonsense, I don't know what you got out of it. They spent the entire week talking about joy. Let's be joy. They've gone from hope from Obama, which was laughable, to now joy under Kamala Harris, the cackling idiot. And the other thing they offer is we hate Trump. So that's it, folks. This is what the Democrats have to offer: joy and we hate Trump. I saw nothing about what they're going to do to improve the lives of the American people, the average people, the people that actually work for a living, that despite what the voters out there think, a lot of voters out there think, they hate you. If you have a job and you're not dependent on the government, they don't give a damn about you, okay? I want to talk today about Kamala's tax, what she wants to do with taxes, okay? Once again, now we've been hearing this for decades, right? Democrats telling you, vote for me, I'll go to Washington and make those rich people pay their fair share. And this comes from people who have been in Washington for 20, 30, 40 years. And I always find myself asking, well, you've been there for 20 years. If rich people aren't paying their fair share and you're going to make them do it, what the hell you been waiting for? You don't need my permission. If you really think that they need to pay more, you're in a position to do something about it. I'm not. But here's the reality, folks. They're suckering you with this nonsense. There is no such thing as a fair share of somebody's tax obligation. They've not a single time has any of them ever told you what the fair share thing is. And the reason for that is it doesn't exist. There's either legal or illegal. That's it. They either put it on the books that they're going to tax something or they don't. In fact, the word fair probably shouldn't be in the English language, and if I had my way, it wouldn't be. Because here's what the word fair means: if something is good for me, that's fair. But if there's something that's good for you and not fair for me and not good for me, well, obviously that's unfair. That's what the word fair means. They're not going to do anything, okay? They don't care about that. They're just suckering you into voting for them. Yeah, I'm paying my fair share. She's going to go to Washington and make them rich people pay their fair share. Elon Musk paid $11 billion in taxes one year, and they don't think that's fair. No, it's legal. What he did was legal. I'm sorry, folks. I don't care how much money somebody has. If they pay $11 billion in taxes, that's a lot of money. How much more do you want before you get to the word fair? All right, but here's the reality of what they're doing with that. They're playing class warfare. This is an envy situation. They're trying to make you envious of rich, successful people. My attitude about all this is still America. This is still the land of opportunity. You can go as far as your ability and your ambition will take you, but you got to have both. You can't sit on your ass with your hand out and expect to do well. Okay? And if you're brick stupid and sitting on your ass, you're probably not going to do well. I mean, look at the guy who came up with Starbucks. Okay, and I'm not a big Starbucks guy. I'm not paying $5 for a cup of coffee. But he came up with an idea. He was living with his mother. They were on welfare. And he came up with this idea for this coffee company. He worked his ass off. He worked for years to build this up. He worked harder than virtually anybody else out there is willing to work. And he created something that has tens of thousands of jobs and has made him a billionaire. Good for him. We should all be that ambitious. But what the Democrats want you to do is say, oh, I can't do that. They're telling you that you can't do that, that you're not capable of doing that, and we're here to take care of you. That's why they hate the middle class, the people with jobs that aren't dependent on government. They hate them. Everything Democrats do is designed for one thing and one thing only, and that is to create as much dependency on government as they possibly can. Now, here's Kamala's lies about taxes, okay? She claims she's going to, this is really funny. Trump came up with the idea to tell people who work for tips, and most people working for tips are not rich folks, okay? I worked for tips, when I was in college and law school and all this stuff. I mean, we all had jobs like that. You're not going to get rich doing that. So he came up with the idea to say, hey, we're not going to tax you on that. A week later, Kamala grabs it and claims that she came up with the idea. Well, Kamala, in case you don't know, was the deciding vote when the Senate passed the law to hire 87,000 more IRS agents to go after tip earners. So for her to lie to you and say she's gonna stop taxing tips, it's just a lie. The day after the election, if she wins, she'll never bring the subject up again. She also wants to raise taxes on, I got some stuff written down here, raise corporate taxes, raise taxes on the rich. They all promise to raise taxes on the rich. And capital gains. Now, I'm going to start with the taxes on the rich and corporate taxes. No, just taxes on the rich. Let me do some taxes on the rich. Taxing the rich is stupid. What do you think rich people do with their money? I mean, Kamala would have you believe that guys like Elon Musk has an enormous warehouse filled with cash. All his money's in there. And he can go swimming in there every day, throw the cash up in the air and wallow in it. His money is invested in businesses. He doesn't have money sitting around. He invests this. All rich people do. They take their money and they invest it. Oh, well, when a company gives dividends, they just give it to their stockholders. And what do those stockholders do with it? They either spend it or they invest it, which helps the economy. Giving it to the government is the dumbest thing to do. It's the worst thing to do. It is the worst investment you can make, is giving more and more money to the government. Keep it in the private sector where it actually does some good. It increases the economy, it increases business, and creates jobs. Creates jobs. The Democrats don't want job creation. They want you dependent on the government. You got to believe that. Listen to them. They do it all the time. Another thing, taxing on corporations and capital gains. If it was up to me, I would reduce the corporate tax and the capital gains tax to maybe 10%, at most 10%. And here's the reason why. If you lowered the capital gains and corporate tax to 10%, the economy in this country would take off like a Saturn rocket. Businesses from all over the world would be pouring money into this country and investing in our economy. No one would be without a job. Tens of millions of people could get off welfare. Tax revenues, and here's the best part, tax revenues, the money that goes into the government so the government can pay for the things it does, tax revenues would increase dramatically. That's what happened when Trump was president. He cut taxes, revenues went up because the economy took off, people were investing. It's simple. It's simple economics. There's nothing to it really. I'm not coming up with an invention here. It's well known that this would happen unless you love government more than you love creating jobs. Democrats love government more than they do creating jobs. When they raised the minimum wage to $20 an hour, these people aren't entirely stupid. They know businesses are going to cut jobs, especially fast food, and smaller businesses that can't really afford to hire people, a lot of people at least, at $20 an hour. So they cut jobs. And the Democrats celebrate because those people that lose their jobs, what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to turn to the government for help. And who is there with a big smile on their face and a bucket of cash that they've taken away from all those terrible, unfair rich people to give it to them? The Democrats. They're buying votes. That's it. That's all they're doing. I want job creation. I want this economy to grow. Trump wants job creation. Biden used to brag about all the jobs he created. Well, it's nonsense. It's a lie. The jobs that he created were people going back to work after being laid off during COVID. That's not creating a job. That's just people going back to jobs that are sitting there waiting for them. And the other day, a new report came out that said verified that Biden and his government have been lying to us. They've been exaggerating the number of jobs he created. He created very few, and the ones that were created were government jobs and jobs for illegal immigrants. That's what he did, creating jobs. Democrats hate job creation. Remember that. Capital gains. In case you're not quite sure what capital gains are, it's this. Let's say you own a share of stock in a company, and you bought that share of stock for $100, and you're holding on to it as an investment. And let's say 2 years later, that share of stock is now worth $200. The gain, that $100 gain, that's what's called the capital gains. Now here's the kicker. You don't have that cash yet. You don't get that money until you sell that asset, that share of stock. But Kamala wants to tax you on that gain. You don't have the money, but she wants you to pay the taxes on it anyway. And this is a woman who's going to help us tax-wise. That's the dumbest idea in the history of the long and continuously growing of stupid ideas that Democrats have come up with. And they're just suckering you with this nonsense. You're going to tax somebody on money they don't have? What the hell kind of idea is that? So anyway, I had to get this stuff off my chest today because so many people, these idiots, these non-thinking morons that vote for Democrats, they hear this stuff. Oh, they're going to tax the rich. No, they're not. They say that all the time, and then they tax you. Biden said he wasn't going to tax anybody that makes over $200,000 a year. That was a lie. He raised taxes on certain things that are affecting you who don't make $200,000 a year. They always raise taxes. It's the only thing they know how to do. And for Kamala to say she's going to eliminate taxes on tips, please spare me. That's not going to happen because the Democrats know something that Republicans don't quite understand. And they take advantage of this. During the campaign, they'll say whatever you want to hear because they know the day after the election, they don't have to live up to any of it. Because by the time the next election rolls around, you who voted for Democrats will forget all the lies that they told you, all the things they said they were going to do that they didn't do. You're going to forget all about it. So please, think with your head, not your feelings. Liberal Democrats are feeling people. Republicans are thinking people. Thank you and have a great day. And I hope I was a little entertaining and gave you some things to think about. Bye for now.